What is going on? AFC East Roundtable. The Jets Roundtable's back. And it's just Matt and I today. I know the thumbnail has Jake and Ryan, but it's okay. Richie and Matt got you covered. The Jets Roundtable live yet again. Matt, always a pleasure, and I'm excited to talk some Jets ball with you, bro.
Yeah, the Long Island edition. We got the two Long Island kids going at it again. Yeah, Jake moving, so he's busy, understandable, and Ryan's back at work, so totally get it. There's a ton of stuff that we could get into today, Jets wise, because never, as we said a lot, never a dull day in Jets land.
Never a dull day in Jets land, and also today's opening day for baseball, and in Met fashion, it's rained out, so we don't have to worry about the Mets today. We can have a full day of Talking Jets. I know you have a show at 3 o'clock as well on the Talking Jets show, so we got a lot of stuff to break down today. Matt, always a pleasure to have you on. Folks, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Matt and I got you covered today. We're going to be talking everything you need to know about these New York Jets. Jadeveon Clowney going to the Carolina Panthers. Okay, that means there's probably other guys that the New York Jets will be targeting in the defensive line position. Where are they going in the NFL draft? Woo! I think, Matt, I don't want to speak for you, but this year for the Jets is the most intriguing draft I think I've covered in a long time in the first round, just because of how many different avenues they could literally go. Like, I'm seeing scenarios of them like doing so many different things. Like, where's your mind at? I know you do mock draft Mondays, and I don't know if you saw this because I know that you mute every time you post a mock draft Monday on Twitter. You don't read the comments, but I commented on your recent one because I did a mock draft for my Bleacher Report show, and ours was literally the same thing.
Yeah, I did see it. I am a big fan of the mute just because it gets a lot. And you know it well because you're on YouTube and Twitter and all that. But I did see that comment. Ours was very, very similar. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. We did Bowers in the first round. And don't worry, that's not a controversial topic at all, talking about Brock Bowers versus taking an offensive lineman. But yeah, it's funny because, you look at, I think the first one that I really remember covering on YouTube was the 2020 draft, and pretty much everyone knew that there was like offensive line in the first round that year. 2021, you knew that, okay, they were taking a quarterback, and then they had options with the second pick, but AVT was a fan favorite, a draft crush of mine that year too, so I was very happy with that one. Yeah. And then 2022 was kind of, you had the 2 first round picks again, but it was debate with edge rusher, wide receiver. Last year, everyone thought they're going to go offensive line and then they go defense. But this year feels so wide open, whether it's wide receiver, offensive lineman, Brock Bowers, or trade down. I think any of those 4 options, you can make a very strong case for, and I don't think you can mess it up.
100%. And I think that I was live this morning and I was talking about the Jets' first round targets, and I'm starting to push this narrative that I am trying my hardest, Matt, to figure out, to predict what actually is going to happen, because I'm trying to put myself in Joe Douglas' shoes, and I'm trying to prepare myself for the unexpected. Like, I think we're falling prisoners of, like, it's simple. They're going Brock Bowers or offensive line, which is the most likely scenario I still think. But I'm thinking of the other perspective of, like, where is Joe Douglas's mind at? Because this Jets team is at a very interesting scenario where we are all in to win. Like, what's your thoughts? And obviously this stemmed from the top 30 visit with Malik Neighbors. We saw Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft of us being aggressive and trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, there's a part of me, Matt, that would not be too shocked if Joe Douglas is like, you know what? You want us to trade down and get an extra second and get an offensive lineman and build out the depth of this roster? No, no, no. I'm going to go do the most aggressive thing you'll ever see and somehow trade up and get a Malik Neighbors and go after a blue chip piece to get to this wide receiver position and get the most entire assets around Aaron Rodgers. I see a lot of Jets fans on board with that. Shout out to King Cat, who's a great member over there at Jets Media and here at Roundtable Sports. He is high on Malik Neighbors. What's your thoughts of Malik Neighbors? Because I think we can both agree the Jets will not be able to draft him at number 10. The only way they can bring him in is if they trade up. Do you think that's actually a possibility that Jets fans need to open their minds of, that Joe Douglas might be super aggressive and trade up rather than trade down? Because it feels like it's more realistic to trade down since we don't have a second round pick. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's something that could happen if I was ranking the order of like offensive line, tight end, wide receiver at 10, trade up or trade down. So the 5 scenarios, I think trade up would be lower just because I think it's harder for a team to jump up to get one of those extremely talented guys. But Malik Neighbors, man, is a really special talent. And same with Marvin Harrison. And sometimes, unfortunately, I think we see people, like you say, become prisoners of the moment. And they're going, well, no, you can't give up the assets. You got to, move back so you can do both offensive line and wide receiver. And while I hear you, I'm not fully, fully finished on this offensive line yet. I think there's still more work to be done because there's unfortunately a lot of guys with injury concerns who are starters for this year. But Malik is just such a special player that I think if there was, whether it's the Chargers, the Giants, whatever, if they are accepting calls and you could jump up and Daniel Jeremiah's mock, it was a second round pick next year to grab an elite blue chip prospect at wide receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson, who's going to be on a cheap contract for the next 5 years. Man, that'd be really nice.
My gosh. And you know what makes me feel like this is even more possible? The 2022 draft, I referred to this on my show this morning. Let's not forget that what Joe Douglas did, that was the most aggressive he's ever been. He stayed put at 4, took Sauce, stayed put at 10, took Garrett. But let's not forget what he did after that. Trade back into the first round for Jermaine Johnson. And then what did he try to do, Matt? He tried to trade back into the first round again for Breece Hall. Why? Because he wanted to get that 5th-year option, and the package that he was offering was all of the rest of the picks in that draft class. So say hypothetically, whichever team he was trying to trade with, I forgot who it was, accepted it, the Jets would have came away with 4 first-round picks and nothing else. Can you imagine that? Like no Jeremy Ruckert, no Michael Clemens, that draft class. So I think it worked out for the Jets in that perspective that we had some more depth. But my point is Joe Douglas was so obsessed with that blue chip of getting 4 first-round talents that he was so aggressive to sacrifice the back end of the draft in order to get all the top-end blue chip pieces, which is why I feel like that mindset's still there, especially with the mindset of where we're at right now with Aaron Rodgers to go all in and win right now. So if you're the Jets and you have all of these, we don't have a second, but we got a third. We have 2 fourth-round picks. We have some picks out there in day number 3. I think there's a possibility that the Jets will be aggressive to get a guy that they absolutely love, that they think will be a completely different difference maker. And to see what they did in free agency, to give them that flexibility to be that aggressive, I think is another thing we have to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And it's a good call out because they were aggressive and they moved up to get another pick in the first round in Jermaine Johnson, but also in the second, they traded up for Breece Hall too. I know they wanted to get into the first round, but even on day 2 in the second round, they jumped up a few spots to ensure that they were going to get him. So we've seen Douglas get aggressive before. We haven't really seen him trade back in the first round. While I think it makes sense for why you'd want to move back and get another pick and have 2 swings in the top 50. If you are really dead set on getting that last piece in a go-in window, and maybe they view another star wide receiver as a last piece to really put the offense over the top, then by all means, I think you do get aggressive because in 2025, if it takes 2025 picks to do it, if this goes wrong, they're not going to be here. Saleh and Douglas are not going to be here in 2025. So they need to make sure that they're winning this year too.
And then there's another side of me that is the complete opposite of what we're talking about. That in terms of the unexpected, I'm trying to think of every different avenue, is the quarterback. Why do I have this weird feeling that there's an actual chance? Now, this is where I get slippery here because you know, Matt, very well of how passionate Jets fans are, how educated they are, and how in their ways it's either this way or no way. When I bring up a quarterback early in the draft, I get tomatoes thrown at me. We did a
Ooh.
mock draft on the AFC East Roundtable last night, and I was joking that like, uh-oh, because we did a trade back. I traded back from 10 to 14. I got an extra second round pick, and we got Troy Fatanu. And then with the second round pick, I was like teasing it, and Jets fans were like, "Don't you do it, Richie." But there's part of me that feels like the Jets could go the Jordan Love route. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is where I'm at. And hear me out, okay? I'm not saying the Jets have to do this. Like, I'm not saying I'm all in. This is what they should do. I'm just giving you guys scenarios because there's so many scenarios. This is what the Jets are thinking about behind closed doors. Every team's thinking about in terms of the NFL draft. But, like, Aaron Rodgers is here right now for the short-term fix to get to the NFL playoffs. For God's sake, just get there and make noise. And dare I say, go win a Super Bowl. Right? That's the goal. I know it's hard for us Jets fans to rationalize a Super Bowl when we haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years. But yes, that's the goal here, a short-term thing. But I also think the Jets want to, at least I would hope, to utilize Aaron Rodgers' presence on this team to help build a long-term sustainable franchise. And how you do that is a long-term, quarterback to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. Now, last year, Matt, we actually had a long-term piece that they had a plan, rather, and it was Zach, right? Okay, Zach's learning behind Aaron. That's the plan. Right now, we don't have a long-term plan. Zach is still on the roster. That's a whole other conversation. We're expecting him to be gone. And I know that, there's a lot of quarterbacks to like in the mid-rounds, like Michael Pratt, Jordan Travis, and all those guys. But what if the Jets fall in love with the prospect of a quarterback earlier, and they feel like that their roster is good enough where they can sacrifice not getting another offensive lineman, not getting another wide receiver, and they go after a quarterback earlier than most Jets fans would rationalize to sit and learn behind Aaron and Tyrod Taylor? Or do you think that that's not a possibility at all, and they're going to be taking a guy like Jordan Travis, taking a guy like Michael Pratt, or even Spencer Rattler, or all those guys in the mid-rounds? Because I'm trying to open my mind to other situations like, is a Penix or a Bo Nix? Like, those are the guys I'm talking about. I don't think they're going to have any chance of the top four guys. So what's your thoughts of that type of potential scenario?
That's what I was going to say is I don't think they have any chance to get up and get one of the quarterbacks that are going to go. The top four, I think, end up going the first four picks, and not like either New England stays and takes a quarterback, or they move out with the Giants or the Vikings. And then the Vikings they're moving up somewhere. They're either going to the pick 3 or pick 4. They want a quarterback very badly. So I don't think at pick 10, I don't think they would take a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix. Now, maybe if they traded back and got that second round pick, and then Michael Penix is there with their second round pick in the 40s, maybe they do that. But I would think they're more likely to add that mid-round guy, the names that you mentioned, Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Michael Pratt in the 3rd, 4th round, than they would be in the first 2 rounds. I think they are going to try to go the route of getting guys who could impact them sooner than what a quarterback would, because that's a pick for really more 2026 and beyond than 2024 and 2025, that window.
Yeah, I think the only scenario like the Penix and Bo Nix makes sense is definitely not at 10. It would be a trade down and then taking someone in the first, if not one of them, and then you get a second round pick, and either they fall to that second round pick or that quarterback begins to fall a little bit and they trade up for him in the second round or something like that. Like, I think that's kind of the scenario I'm thinking about. I don't think if there's one scenario that we're talking about that's the most least likely to happen, I think it's this one, but it is an interesting one to think about because I really hope that the Jets get a quarterback this year, and I just don't know who it's going to be yet. There's a lot of guys we all love, and I'm someone that has always believed in the long-term vision for team building. No matter it's the Jets, my Knicks, our Mets, no matter what the team is, I always love a long-term approach. And I do got to give credit to my Knicks real quick. I know this isn't a basketball show, but when Leon Rose came to the Knicks, bro, this guy has brought us a long-term vision and slowly built the team with patience, and we're seeing it come to fruition here, and I admire him for that. And I would love the Jets to have a long-term plan on top of the short-term plan. So I think the Jets can figure out a way to do that in the NFL draft at the quarterback spot. The question is, who will it be? Now, you are a Jordan Travis fan. I've seen from your content. I know that you love Michael Pratt. What's your go-to guy in the mid-rounds? Is it those two? Is it another guy like a Milton? What's your thoughts of Spencer Rattler? Give me your take on the quarterback position in terms of those mid-round targets.
Yeah, I really don't like Milton. That's the one that I'm not really a big fan of. He
Didn't you
has a
see his pro day throw, Matt? What do you
I
mean?
was I was gonna say he has an absolute rocket launcher for a right arm, but the accuracy I think is a very, very, very big concern for me. And he didn't look very good at the Senior Bowl, so that's gonna be a no from me. But I get it. You know, the big arm is fun. He's a very raw, so who knows? Maybe it hits. But I think my two favorites are Jordan Travis and Michael Pratt. Jordan Travis, you know, unfortunately gets hurt this past year and misses time and is probably going to miss some time going into 2024, which is fine because the Jets don't necessarily need him right away. Pratt, I kind of like the use of his legs. He doesn't have a big arm, but from like the short to intermediate stuff and extending plays with his legs, I think that could maybe potentially be something to latch onto. I don't know. It's hard with these mid-round quarterbacks. Like there's a reason they're going in the third, fourth, fifth round, and they're not looked at as, you know, top 10 picks. And it's hard to hit on quarterback in the top 10, let alone in the once you get into day 2 and day 3. But you kind of just have to find some traits that you like in guys and hope that, you know, they're able to maximize those talents once they get to the next level. But for me, it's Pratt and Jordan Travis are my two favorite mid-round swings.
Well, I forgot, Matt, that I did put in the title mock draft in today's show. So you know what that means. You know what that means, Matt. We're doing it. Okay. We're doing a mock draft. We're doing a mock draft. How about that? We're doing it, baby. Let's go. We're doing it. Do you like to change these settings or you keep it as is?
I leave them as is. I know some people like to move them around, but
yeah, we're gonna keep it.
Okay.
We're gonna keep it as is, and we're gonna go. Should we like slow it down so we can trade up, or we'll do it fast, not turbo.
Yeah.
All right.
Turbo is like rocket speed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right. The Jets, Brock Bauer boys are loud. The Bauer boys are loud. All right. So the first question is, Matt, what the heck is the approach in this draft? Are we trading down or are we taking a Brock Bowers? Because as we both know, there's so many different scenarios that we can go down. We can do the Brock Bowers draft. We can do the trade down draft. We can do this draft. So what's your approach for this one? What are you thinking? Seems like, look at the chat. I'll just say that.
Trade down. Okay, the chat wants to move down. We have apparently what 5 trade options. So let's take a look and see what teams are interested in coming up.
I mean, the trade I always like is down to 14.
Okay.
Even the Rams at 19, I'm sure we get a haul there. Is that too far down? That's a little.
Yeah, I think that's too far. I want to cut. I can't see the drop down for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, so it's the Broncos, Raiders, Saints, Rams, and Steelers. So 12, 13, 14, 19, and 20 are interested.
Okay. I don't think I would go past
14.
14. Yeah. So any of the, if you want to do like 10 for 14 and 45, that I think we can get in on something like that.
Yeah. So usually this is the pick that I do. This is the exact trade I've always done. You throw in 130. I think it's 111. So we give up 10 and 111 and we get 14 and 45 because I don't think they'd accept it without 111.
Okay.
You want to force it.
No, do it like that. That's fine. I'm good with giving up the fourth to get.
Yeah, I mean, moving back 4 spots to basically move up 2 rounds.
Yeah, I say yes.
Trade accepted, baby. Boom.
Okay.
Oh, Fatano goes, but Brock Bauer boys lives.
I think we got our answer.
Yeah. All right. Well, we did a trade down, and I feel like every Jets fan's mindset is if a trade down scenario, it's not Brock Bowers. But I don't know. We just traded down. He's on the clock, Matt. I mean, who's available from the offensive line though?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where's OT? Yeah, I mean, this is also options. JC's there.
Latham. I honestly, I think I would go Bowers in this spot.
Bauer boys, wake up. Wake up. Are you in the chat right now? Even though I see O-line.
I know. All the O-line guys that I like are gone by now. Well, you just lost Fatanu. And then you also lost Fuaga, right? Olu's gone.
Fuaga's gone. Olu's gone. Alt is gone. Yeah, the top 4 is
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I don't like Latham as much as some other people So if it was Latham or Bowers, I think I would go Bowers. But are we gonna let the chat talk us into O-line?
Yeah, that's the thing about this, Matt. We, as much as we want to as content creators please the people, it's impossible to please everybody. And that's what
Okay.
we've both had to
Yes.
learn throughout our content creation careers here. So no matter who we take, there's gonna be people that hate us. We're taking Brock Bowers. You trade down and he's available at 14. I'm sorry. Welcome to the New York Jets, Mr. Brock Bowers. And we got a pick at 45, though. Uh-oh, Matt.
Oh, here we go. Here's your scenario. Bo Nix, Michael Penix.
Uh-oh. Everyone's going to hate me, Matt. If I do it, I won't do it, though. Oh, my. That's hilarious.
What about that's really funny. Now, what is the offensive line targets looking like? Because I think if you pass on one in the first round for a weapon, that's fine. But
Kingsley just went.
Okay.
I like him. So right now,
the Raiders, man, they're screwing us back to back. They're going to take 2 tackles in their first and second round picks. What the hell, mock draft sim?
We're getting called out from Henny, bro. He's calling us Bauer boys.
Yeah, we're the leader of the Bauer boys.
Yeah, we're the leader. We're the spearhead in the movement. So here are the offensive linemen that's available, Matt.
Okay.
I don't know.
Frazier or I don't think they're going center. Do you want to wait? You still have 72, right?
Yeah.
Fisher, Patrick Paul, maybe not Christian Haynes should be there in the. Oh, do we go F it and go like wide receiver?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 2 playmakers. Yo, the one thing I learned about Joe Douglas, as much as we want to say he's an offensive line guy, this guy is drunk off of playmakers. He loves playmakers. I don't care what anybody says. He's proved me wrong in every single draft. Trades up for this playmaker. Playmakers, baby. I mean, I don't know. Who is it, though? Is it a Roman Wilson or Ricky Purcell?
Those are my 2 favorite receivers that are available right now. One of Wilson or Pearsall. So I'll default to you. Which one you like better of those 2 guys?
Who I really love, who is definitely never going to be available, is Troy Franklin. I love Troy Franklin.
Okay, yeah. Did he go in the first round? He probably did.
Yeah, he went at 32.
Yeah.
And now, is it because I've been watching a lot of Bo Nix and I've been seeing him come up? Maybe, Matt.
Maybe. I'm a Ladd McConkey guy, but I also think he goes 35 in this one. I think he can go at the back of the first round even.
Yeah, Ladd, even Xavier Legette. Wow, he went early.
Yeah, that's early
Xavier
too.
Worley. Holy shit, 4 receivers went in a row.
That's annoying.
That is annoying. All right. Bo Nix it is. I'm just kidding.
The ultimate curveball.
The ultimate. No, I think in the draft that we did on the AFC East Roundtable last night, I took Ricky here, so maybe we'll do Roman Wilson. How about that?
Okay, I like Roman Wilson. He's more of a slot guy, but that's fine.
Why don't you give your breakdown? What are your thoughts of him?
I just feel like he's someone who always comes up with a catch in a big spot. Like, you know how some guys just are like clutch, third down, moving the chains. That's how I view Roman Wilson. He has, at 6 foot 192, he's not like a small slot receiver. He's a little bit on the bigger side, but I think that's.
You think he complements with Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams?
I think he can, and with Brock Bowers too. I mean, we're talking and then you have Bowers to move around too.
2 Wilsons.
Yeah, let's do it
at the wide receiver position. All right, Brock Bowers and Roman Wilson. We're going playmakers, baby. This is the playmakers draft. The haters are mad. All right.
The haters are mad.
Now we're going Jalen Wright. I'm just kidding. So we're on the clock here at 72.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler still available. I think we can hold off of the quarterback. But are we going to see which offense? Blake Fisher's still there.
Yeah, I think.
Because we didn't go O-line yet.
No, there hasn't been an O-line selection yet. I think Fisher or Patrick Paul would be the play here.
Now, what would you say the difference is between Patrick Paul and Blake? I think Fisher's a right tackle, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, Patrick Paul. Some people are higher on Patrick Paul, and they see him going maybe more closer in the second. I've seen a mock where Patrick Paul goes in the first round even. So that feels like the value play. But Fisher, yeah, Fisher plays on the other. Alt is the left tackle, so Fisher would be right tackle if you want to do that. Paul, I believe, plays left tackle.
All right, so I like the Patrick Paul pick. And I think that, to get another guy out there that can match up with Carter Warren in terms of a developmental prospect to learn behind Tyron Smith, I like this. Patrick Paul
I'm in.
is the pick.
Now only one fourth round pick because we traded it to get that
Pause.
Second.
Should we trade up?
Oh.
I don't know. Should we? So we gave up our fourth.
Yeah, what do you have? You have
I don't know. I just paused randomly. I don't even know if there's someone available that we want. I'm just trying to have fun. I don't think so. Let's just resume it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, Brandon Rice. All right. Here we are on the clock. Jordan Travis. What's your thoughts of the running back position? Because that is a very
question.
There is a thing in the back of my mind that I keep liking to remind the people that we have not seen a draft of the New York Jets with Joe Douglas without drafting a running back.
Yeah, it's something. And anytime I do a mock draft with running back and I forget to turn the comments off or really early, that's a fan fave to throw another running back. Oh my God. But they kind of need one, man. Like, is he? I like how explosive he is, and he's a home run hitter type, but I think they either need to add a veteran or go another running back at some point. I don't know if I would do it yet. I think I'm either looking at, to me, usually this, because you hit tight end, you hit wide receiver, you hit offensive line. Now might be the time to look at either interior defensive line or safety.
I like it. There's our guy. Too early, though. Where is it? Our next pick is at 185. Is this where you target a Travis, though?
You could. Yeah, you could. If we want to come away with a quarterback, then Jordan Travis might be the play here. Because if you wait too long, it gets like on the next round, I don't know what quarterback is gonna be around.
What are you guys thinking, chat? Are we going Travis? Are we going another Mackay? Where's your head at? If we don't go quarterback,
I do like Mackay Wingo.
Yeah, I feel like Jets fans are so against the idea of defensive line. It's just we're so like programmed not to. But I'm like, you guys realize the defensive line is so good for a reason. It's because they keep doing this thing. So let them keep going. Let them keep adding to the best position and let it keep being the best.
And it's not like we did in the first 3 rounds. Like if you did in the top 100, that's maybe a different conversation. But this is the tail end of the 4th round. You could start taking some depth pieces for defensive line, safety.
Yeah, but this is a mock, and we got to please the people, Matt. Everyone wants Jordan Travis.
All right, let's do it. I'm fine with that. I am okay.
That's what it seems like. I'm down to Jordan Travis. You are the next franchise quarterback for the New York Jets for the next 20 years.
Nailed it.
Let's go. All right. Next pick is at 185.
It's a long way.
Which is a long way. Oh, we should have got your guy, Joe Milton.
Oh, Joe Milton. Matt O'Leary fan.
Matt O'Leary. They went outside in his pro day because he has such a cannon of an arm.
Yeah, he was going to hit the ceiling.
All right. Now, this is where things can get interesting. So, where is, can we see our previous picks?
No, but it was Brock Bowers, Roman Wilson, Patrick Paul, Jordan Travis so far.
Cool. So now we're at a situation where we haven't got a safety or defensive line. I think this is a good time for a defensive player.
Yep.
So we'll look at the safeties, we'll look at the edge, and we'll look at the D line. Jordan Jefferson, Jalen Green, Jawan Briggs. Is there anyone that
Okay.
stands out to you?
Maybe Jefferson.
There's a lot of LSU boys on the D line. What do you guys say, chat? Anybody that's available that you guys are liking?
Sean is very upset because we took another guy coming off a season-ending injury. They don't need Jordan Travis this year, though.
We're not. He's
That's
not
a stash.
playing.
Yeah, he's your third quarterback that you're going to stash.
Come
If
on,
you took him in
man.
the first round, I'd get it. I'd get the rage, but I don't know if pick. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to rage out at pick 138.
I mean, if you're a Jets fan, you're not finding something to complain about. Are you a Jets fan? So some people are saying safety. Some people are saying D line.
Who's the next available safety?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Anthony.
Tony Adams. It's fine, guys.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go the defensive line route here, if I'm going to be honest with you.
A Jefferson.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bang. Oh no, a defensive lineman.
And then back-to-back 7th rounders to close this puppy.
Freaking Mr. We're not even just Mr. Irrelevant. We're like double irrelevant this year.
Yeah.
If we keep those picks. Which, Joe Douglas, you better. Okay, if you're doing any trades, you keep both of these. We could get Tua's brother if we some insurance. Now this is just a dartboard throw.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get maybe a running back. We got Ali, loyal NY Jet fans.
There we go. Ali's in here.
We haven't got a running back or a safety yet, so maybe that's the last two. Or what do you think?
I'm good with safety being one of these last two, and I would say either running back
or edge or another lineman
or edge or line. Yeah. Yep. Now, some of these you would think like they're going to fill out some of these needs for depth in later stage free agency too. So like if we don't come away with every single thing, like if safety's not.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
They've done a great job with undrafted free agents. Let's not forget Tony Adams, undrafted, Bryce Huff. No. Kenny Yeboah still on this team. All right, so let's do Josh Proctor from Ohio State.
I do like Josh Proctor. That was someone who I think was. I feel like I remember him from last year, but I guess he didn't declare. But that's the name that I like. All right.
So we got him. And then the final pick, the Mr. Irrelevant pick. Who's going to be this year's Brock Purdy? Is it going to be Tagovailoa? Not to the Jets, but is he going to be
I don't think he gets drafted. I think he's a UDFA.
So we could go edge. Who's available for running back? Is there anyone worth?
Carson Steele is a green bean favorite.
That's all I needed to hear. Drafted him.
Perfect.
Green bean favorite is a Richie favorite.
He's big. Okay. 6'1", 225, white kid with long hair.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I love that. Well, we got an A-. Guys, what do you think of it? We're going to have to post this on social media, Matt.
Yeah, I think we have to. The Matt and Richie collab mock draft. I think we did. I think I would call this one the offense draft. As you go tight end, Roman, Bowers, Wilson, Patrick Paul, Jordan Travis. We just fixed the New York Jets. Look at that.
Joe Douglas, you better be watching the Jets Roundtable on Thursdays at 1 p.m. EST. Because we got Brock Bowers, we got Roman Wilson, we got Patrick Paul, we got 4 straight hitters on offense, and then we finished things off with some defensive players, and maybe did something a little too crazy for Green Bean's sake.
I like it. It's aggressive. This would remind me of the 2024 Jets draft class, where it was the 2022 Jets draft class where they were aggressive and got like the bunch of big names at the top.
Well, I'm going to tweet it while we're live so we can get people hating on us or loving us while we're live.
Yes,
Matt
please do.
O'Leary and I just did a collab mock draft while live on the Jets Roundtable. Should I mute it after? What are you?
I don't think I'm not going to mute this one. I want to see the hate. Actually, I'm lying. I might mute this in like an hour.
Come on. I mean, so far the chat likes it. So, but I think we've learned YouTube chat and Twitter, two different worlds.
Yeah, it is.
I literally and I just did a collab mock draft while live on the Jets Roundtable. All right, guys, if you want, all the people that love this, by the way, don't forget to show love on it on Twitter, because that's where that's where the big question is. Boom. It's sent. Everybody go check it out. I just sent out the tweet.
Oh, here we go.
And this is where the fun begins, Matt. This is where the true fun begins. Check us out on X. Are you calling it X or Twitter?
It's Twitter. To me, still. It will always be Twitter.
I don't know what X is. So here it is. Everyone go tell us if you love it or you hate it. Absolutely love to see it from Jets fans. Now, there was some things that got released this week of the odds across the NFL of the win total.
And
I think it's a very interesting thing to talk about, and I'm very curious to get Matt O'Leary's thoughts of it. Guys, if you are not aware by now, I mean, you should be, but BetUS has been the proud sportsbook sponsor of Roundtable Sports for quite some time. They've been a sportsbook sponsor in the offseason as well, and they just released their win totals for each team. The Jets one is interesting, and we're going to break it down right now. If you guys want to open up your account and join us and maybe play some bets, go click the link down below in the description right now. Open up your BetUS account and receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500 with a 10% gambler's insurance. Please bet responsibly. I really, really love what BetUS has to offer. Also, don't forget, baseball's back, so if you are into baseball, they do have a lot of baseball bets, a lot of player prop bets, a lot of fun future bets. If you want to win some money, put some money on the Mets to win the World Series because it's ridiculous odds. Totally kidding. But let's get into some win totals after we hear a quick word from BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, Matt, where the game begins. So let's go straight into let's focus on the AFC East, okay? So first up, the Buffalo Bills are at 10.5 wins, and it's at -130 for the Bills to get over 10.5 wins. Where are you at, Bills?
Under. I'm taking the under. I'm going to say 9 or 10 wins for Buffalo.
Woo! So that means you don't have them winning the division.
No,
for the 4th straight year.
I don't.
Why don't you elaborate on that for the Bills fans tuning in?
Well, they lost a lot of pieces on their defense this past offseason, and I don't know if they've done a whole lot to get better. I don't like to throw the term around missing your window very much, but the Bills might have missed their window of opportunity here. Now, when you have an elite level quarterback, Josh Allen is always going to keep you in the mix, but I think they are going to go through a little bit of a step back, retool it a touch before they get back with this next crop of guys. I think, last year they were underwhelming until they went on that run to get themselves in the playoffs. This year, the Jets will be better. I think Miami's going to be, just around the same as they were last year. So I think these 3 teams beat up on each other. I don't think they get to 11. I think the better value is on the under. I'll say they finish with 9 or 10 wins.
Matt O'Leary, a Buffalo Bills certified hater. I'm right there with you. I love it. I agree. And TD and I were saying this to Dan when we were going over this on our show, The Huddle, and Dan just couldn't take it. Absolutely love it. Miggy with the $2. Richie, you should have been born a Dolphins fan. Oh, Miggy. Miggy. Now, this is a great supporter of the AFC East Roundtable, good supporter of what I do, but he is a Dolphins fan, and I have a lot of respect for Miggy. But, no. We're staying green, baby. The real green, by the way. Sorry, Miggy. That ain't happening. But always appreciate your love and your support, Miggy. You're the man. All right. So before we go further into BetUS, I'm just gonna give you a little tease. So far, the people on Twitter are liking the mock draft, Matt. Oh my god.
Okay, good. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've already muted it.
Well, I'll keep you informed. At the end of the show, we're gonna go and really expose what people have to say about it. All right. So next up, let's get to the New York Jets. Now, my favorite part about the Jets on BetUS, Matt, is that it's plus money for the Jets to hit the over. It's plus 115 for them to get over 9.5 wins. This is my perspective of it. We won 7 games with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian. You're going to convince me that with Aaron Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor as the 2 quarterbacks, we can't win 3 more games? Over. I mean, I'm trying not to be biased here. It's also the same exact line that we had last year. So what's your thoughts of this?
Yeah, plus money on the over feels like stealing. I'm going to have to get into my BetUS account and put that in now before it becomes even money or anything less. I don't want to have to lay money on that, but plus like the minus 145 to lay on the under, you just got to be an ultimate hater. And I am not an ultimate hater. I will not do that.
Unless it's the Bills.
Different story.
Chat, let us know. You taking the over or the under for the New York Jets coming out there? I think this is a good possibility for the Jets to go all in and hit the over. And then we got the Miami Dolphins. They're sitting at 10 wins. I'm pretty sure. Where they at? Yeah, 10 wins flat.
Oh, that's a really good line. Because I would pick that to push. If I'm being honest with you, I'm pretty sure I'm going to settle on the Dolphins at 10 wins. So I wish it was 10 and a half. I would take the under if it was at 10 and a half.
Okay. I like that. Now, the funny thing about that is TD Finstock agrees. I caught him, Matt. You know how many wins he has for the Jets this year?
How many?
11.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think the Jets win at 10 or 11 games. That's my prediction for the Jets next year. Way too early, subject to change, but I think I'm going to settle on 10 or 11. Dolphins around 10, and the Bills around 9 or 10.
I love it. I agree. And then last but not least, we got the New England Patriots at 4.5, Matt.
Oh, no.
4.5.
4.5 is a really low number. They're going to be bad, though. This is another one where I kind of wish it was 5.5 because I think they get to 5, but I don't know if. All right, I'll take the over. I think they get 5 wins.
Well, you have a kind heart, Matt, because I am not taking the over. The Patriots are basement dwellers, and this is the time to bet against the damn Patriots. Now, this is just pure hate. You talk about hater. Oh my gosh. I'm just saying this because I hate the Patriots and I'm ready for their demise. But that 4.5 is so low, right?
It is
realistically, the over is going to hit. But I just would love to see them win 4 or less games, to be honest. So that's it. We had so you said the over here. Let's do a little parlay if we get the AFC East correct. So we had the over on 4.5 for the Patriots.
Okay.
The Dolphins, we had a push. So
yeah, what do you want to do? You want to do the under? Okay. Yeah.
I don't understand that though. How come they don't they do even? Like how come it's always never like I thought it should be mandatory of like a half to avoid a push.
You would think. You would think.
Where are we at? For the Bills, it's all the way up here. This is in alphabetical order, so they're far up. Under 10.5 wins for the Bills, and then New York Jets are sitting at boom. All right, so here it is. If we want to parlay these together, oh, you can't parlay them.
Yeah.
thought you could.
No, that'd be pretty sick though. But
That would be sick because we'd cash in because we're elite. But hey, $50 for the Jets gives you $57. It's a $50 max pay risk. So definitely go check out BetUS, guys. They just released the win totals, and they also have a lot of other fun stuff on their website. So definitely go check out BetUS. Thank you so much to BetUS for being the proud sportsbook sponsor of the Roundtable. Now, let's get back into Twitter and see what the people are saying, Matt.
I'm
your breath.
fixed. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm peaking. I am peaking a little bit. It feels like mostly good. They want to know. A few people want to know who the Saints are moving up for. Who did they end up taking? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got it right here. Fuaga. They got Fuaga, and then JJ McCarthy fell all the way to 11 to the Vikings.
That's crazy.
And then Fatanu went right before us to the Raiders. So this was the results. But ours, I can't believe it, Matt. We figured out a way to please Jets fans.
Richie, what do you think this means? One commenter says, I have a far better gift in my bio link with like a water emoji. What do you think that's about?
Where is it? I'm scared to hit show. Honestly, I'm not going to hit that button.
Yeah, you don't have to, but
Oh, man. Elizabeth. Thank you for your thoughts of our mock draft, Elizabeth. That is a great insight. Come on, Elon. Can you fix this? This is ridiculous. But it is cool to see that overall Jets fans seem to be coming together on a mock draft that we put together.
they like it.
Do we have any quote tweets? No quotes.
No quotes yet.
All right, folks. You heard it here first. I got to retweet this on the Roundtable accounts now so we can get this out to the Bills and Dolphins fan bases so they can say, oh, trash. Right. We're going to retweet it on the AFC East. Also like it. I mean, how can you not like it at the same time? We're going to do it on the Roundtable Sports account. I got too many accounts to keep up with, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how to do it either, but we're doing it. Hey, maybe even do it on Knicks Media. Nah, I mean. All right, so it's looking good though. I feel like pleasing Jets fans is one of the most difficult tasks ever in the NFL, and we did it, man. Did it?
Yeah, we did our best. It's not easy, as we said, but if you're coming away with a couple playmakers like that, it's gonna be exciting.
Absolutely love it. So what should we finish off with? I think a topic I definitely wanted to touch up on with you before we end things off is the Jets missing out at Jadeveon. So where do you see the Jets going in terms of the edge position? Do you see them going after another free agent like a Yannick Ngakoue? We found out that they were interested in Shaq Barrett, and he chose the Dolphins. Interested in Clowney, he chose the Panthers. Bud Dupree. I mean, there's a lot of other veteran guys out there. What's your thoughts of this defensive line position? And do you feel like we need another guy? Because Bryce Huff walked. Carl Lawson's most likely not coming back. Do you see the Jets going after a veteran? And if so, who?
What about pick 10, Dallas Turner?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about that as a scenario.
I'm sure Jets fan. We should do it. We should next time, Matt. We're doing a scenario. Okay, we're doing a mock draft of that, and we're posting it.
Yeah, Dallas Turner, and then like I don't know, maybe interior defensive line with pick 30 in the third round, or or you trade up and get Bo Nix or something like that. I like
a combination of those two would be to go nuclear.
Oh
man, I kind of want to do it now.
You'll rile up the folks.
Riling them up.
But I don't think that, in all seriousness, I don't think they go that route in the draft. I think Calais Campbell is the name that I am taking a look at. They were interested in him last offseason. He ends up signing in Atlanta on a 1-year deal. I think he's someone who could play interior and end, so he does a little bit of both. Like Jadeveon Clowney, he's a very good run defender, and he's coming off of one of his better pass rushing seasons, so he still has something left in the tank. I think that's my favorite veteran option right now.
Yeah, I agree. And like, how do you? Will McDonald is such an interesting name. Like, what's your expectations for him? Because I feel like some people are still thinking he's like automatically a bust, right?
Yeah, I
Which
don't
I'm
think that's fair to
like
him.
you can definitely say, okay, maybe not the greatest pick, but I think it's way too premature to write him off as a bust, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you there. I don't know. Also, on the flip side, I don't know if it's fair to expect the same kind of jump that we got from Jermaine Johnson from year 1 into year 2, because I don't think he's going to play 60 something percent of the snaps. But can he play 40% of snaps and give you like 5 or 6 sacks? If he does that, I think that would be a nice step forward and, signs of growth. I just don't see him as like, and who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does play 50 or 60% of sacks and is giving snaps and gives you 10 sacks. But I think I'm going to go like temper my expectations. Say he gives you, I don't know, split the difference, 5.5 sacks, playing 45% of snaps this year for the Jets.
And then is Jermaine about to even go crazier? Because we saw him break out this past year, and I think there's still another level to the potential of Mr. Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah. How many sacks did he finish with last year? 6?
Yeah,
7.5. 7.5.
7.5. Wow.
Okay. My guess was going to be 8 sacks for him. I don't know if he's going to be a double-digit sack guy, but I think he's going to be very good against the run, have, 50 to 60 tackles, maybe eight sacks, somewhere in that range. I don't know. I don't know if the Jets have an edge rusher that gets them double digits. I think they'll have a bunch of guys living in that like 5 to 8 sack range.
And I kind of want to throw this random question at you. If you had one breakout candidate on the Jets roster on offense, who would it be? Because I have a name in my mind. A breakout candidate on offense that could potentially have a big impact for this Jets team on offense.
How about you go first? I want to see what direction you're going. I don't know. Are you going to go chalk and be like Brees or Garrett, or are they already like broke out?
They broke out.
Okay, yeah.
They're the best in the NFL already in my brain.
Naturally. Okay.
So mine is actually Xavier Gipson.
Oh, okay.
I think Xavier Gipson with Aaron Rodgers in the slot. I mean, I don't think he's going to put up like, top tier numbers, but I think he's going to have a bigger impact that we all are projecting. The fact that he went out there as an undrafted free agent, stole a man's job. And I think that there's a lot of flashes from him. And I felt like he would have had a better year if Rodgers was healthy last season. I really like Xavier Gipson in the slot this year. I don't know if he's going to be the starter and like the go-to guy. I think we're still going to add a receiver, and it's going to be Garrett, a guy in the draft, Mike Williams. I mean, Al Lazard's still here. There's rumors about Corey Davis coming back. But I think the Jets are going to get Gipson out there on the field and get him some playing time.
What about Tyler Conklin? Can I go that route? That's another 100%. One that gets brought up a lot, but I don't think it's in that same tier as like the Brees and Garrett breakouts that get talked a lot about.
With Conklin, it's like he is the definition of solid. Like he is a rock. He is like, I got into a debate with Patriots Global on the Roundtable where he's like, yeah, your tight ends are a weakness. I'm like, no, they're not, bro. Like, what do you mean? They're like, so Conklin is, not good. I'm like, that's not true. I mean, like, he's not a top 5 tight end, but he's the definition of solid. He has sure hands, those seam routes. I mean, I don't think he ever dropped the ball with the Jets, like legitimately. And I like that. I think Conklin has a chance to, like, if we don't get Bowers, of course, has a chance to be, like, with Aaron Rodgers, like a top 7, top 10 tight end in the league. And I don't know if that's getting a little overboard, but he has all the potential to do that.
No, like if let's say they don't go Bowers, let's say they go offensive line instead, and then take like a mid-round receiver or something like that, he's probably your third pass catcher, right? Like, because I would think it probably goes Garrett, Brees, Conklin. Oh, well, Mike Williams too. He's got to be in there. So maybe not. But I don't know. Can he give you 750 yards and like 7 touchdowns, something like that?
Is there a world where Alan Lazard plays well? Because this is where I'm at with Alan Lazard. What made him who he was on the Packers was Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's the reason he became something. Undrafted free agent. Aaron put his arm around him early on.
Yep.
And he helped develop him into the man that he was. And let's not forget that he was a very solid playmaker for the Packers. And then he came to the Jets. He was miserable. I mean, talk about miserable. Drop passes, penalties. You couldn't ask for a worse season from Allen Lazard. Do you think there's a chance that, I'm not going to say break out and put up 800 plus yards, but do you think Lazard, I mean, it's hard for him to get worse, right? Like, do you think if he's on this Jets roster, which I think he's going to have to be because I don't see a team out there taking on that contract, that there's a world where he improves and all of a sudden we're like, oh, Allen Lazard is a reliable weapon with this team? Or is that hard because he just was so bad last year?
Yeah, it's a little hard for me, but maybe he could be a serviceable like fourth receiver. You know, I would sign up for that. That's not what he was brought in for. He was brought in to be like a number 2, number 3 receiver. But if he ends up being like a solid fourth option in that room, after what he did last year, I would say that's a win. Obviously, it's going to be expensive, right? Because he got paid, what is it, $11 million? And that's a very expensive wide receiver but I think you'd have to live with it.
All right. I'm not really expecting anything from him either, but you never know. Well, folks, we appreciate everybody tuning in for the Jets Roundtable. Matt and I held it down today. We're live every Thursday at 1 p.m. EST here on the AFC East Roundtable YouTube channel. Jets Roundtable, Mr. Matt O'Leary, always a pleasure, my friend. Why don't you let the people know what you got cooking up content-wise? I know you have a show at 3 in an hour, so why don't you let the people know what you're doing today and the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a show with Jeremy coming up at 3:00. We're going to talk about all the different options the Jets have in the first round, which is fitting because we talked about that here. But also we want to talk about the alleged rumors with Woody Johnson and Robert Saleh getting into that fight that was then very quickly dispelled. So we're going to do that. And yeah, just kind of covering things as they come. I would expect it to be a quiet weekend for the New York Jets right now before ramping up for the draft.
Well, I love that. Didn't bring that up once on this show for a reason. Maybe it slipped my mind, maybe it didn't. But hey, Woody Johnson, Robert Saleh, who knows if it happened or not. Maybe they needed that heated debate. Go check out Talking Jets with Mr. Matt and Jets Chaos at 3:00. A reminder, the huddle is off today and tomorrow, so there's no shows. The next show will be actually on my birthday this Monday, April Fool's Day. The joke's on you, Matt. I was born on April Fool's Day, okay? I'm a joke. I get it. I've heard the joke before.
Okay. I'm an April's baby, too. April 21st, so I'm a few weeks after you.
Look at that. Bang. April, baby. You love it. All right, folks, hit the like button on your way out. We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your day. Any Knicks fans, I will be live on Knicks Media with Wardy NYM at 2:30 to break down the Knicks as the 3rd seed and about to go win the NBA Finals. All right, see you there.